Welcome back to the Nycehoops Podcast. My name is Niklas. Today we're back with another interview, not with one of my former teammates, but more a former teammate of Joey. For me, it was more of a former opponent. We had games against each other when he was at Nuremberg and Chemnitz. Welcome to the show, Virgil Matthews. Virgil, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Was looking forward to talk to you finally. We didn't get to talk usually during the games, but I heard a lot of good things coming from Joey from the time together at Ehingen.
Yeah, playing with Joey was interesting. He's a good guy though.
Yeah, like when I researched you, it was the first time I found out that you actually started in even lower leagues when you started, I think, at Munich, and then you also played for Schwelm.
Yeah.
Then you had you constantly moved up the leagues, and now you're finally at the BBL at the highest league. So first of all, congratulations for that process. I know it must have been very difficult to stay persistent throughout these years.
Yeah. I mean, thanks. My first year was Munich, second league, but that was before the Pro A, Pro B. So it was like it was similar to Pro B level, but it was the second highest level. So it was kind of like the Pro A. And then I went to Schwelm and Regio. It was a good chance. It was a good time though, because the Regio in that league was pretty tough. And I actually went there thinking that they were going to be a Pro B team. So that was part of the reason why I went there.
Yeah. Like you, as someone that went overseas and like participate in a couple of different leagues, like what would you say is the biggest difference between like these Regionalliga teams and then the Pro A teams like Ehingen and Nuremberg, and now with Chemnitz, a bigger program that moved up to the Pro A, to the BBL?
The biggest difference, I think, is just a lot of it before you get to the BBL, it's a lot about just the structure. Like you can tell the teams who really are structured and have like the facilities, and they really have the want to move up and compete at a high level. So like everywhere I've been, the level of like professionalism and like necessities and facilities and things like that have gone up. So it's like Munich, we really didn't have anything. It's just so long ago. Basketball was so small in Germany. And then Schwelm was really crazy, because when I left Munich at a higher level, I thought, this is German basketball. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. And then I went to Schwelm, and it was like so much more professional and so much better. And I was just like surprised that like I go down a level, and it was a different situation. But Munich at the time was brand new to the second league. And so they weren't really prepared, I think, the whole way. Knowing more what I know now about the league in Germany and Munich as a city, like it was just a little harder to be prepared.
Yeah, especially now with the big Bayern team basically become one of the more dominant teams in the BBL.
Yeah, it would be hard for another Munich team, I think, now. But we were bigger than Bayern when I was there, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. It was before they got all the soccer money.
Yeah.
And this is, yeah. So, turn back the time a little bit. Think about when you first came over to Germany from the US. From what I saw, you grew up in Washington, went to college in Montana.
Yeah.
And like, what led to your decision to go overseas to Germany specifically?
Once I finished college, there was like agents messaging me an email. Like that was the only like real forms of contact they had back in the day. There's no Instagram and stuff like that. So it was just, I got emails from like random agents, and they were telling me, oh, we want to represent you to play here, play there. And then I ended up signing with an agent, and he put me in Munich. And I was like, well, that's a place that I've heard of. So it was like, I'm making money to play. It's a place that I heard of. So I was like, yeah, I'll go there and try it out and see what it's like.
I can imagine also a bigger city, so probably more people in your environment that were able to talk English with you.
Yeah, I mean, I already knew a little German from high school, but Munich was really like, I never had really a problem with the language, so that was good.
Yeah. I'll talk about language. I saw you like both your first names are French. So have you any French ancestry in your family?
No, I don't know. It's just names my mom liked, I think. No
Just as
reason.
your mom liked.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, such a fancy language. I better involve some for my son.
maybe something like that.
Yeah. So, like I said, you played together with Joey and Eng, and that's why I'm repping the old Urspring
Yeah,
cap that he got me that one year. Uh, it was like when from what I see, whatever your team you play for, that team becomes very successful. Like when you played at Ehingen, I know you had a season where you finished second as probably like the smallest program in the league.
yeah,
You also went to Nuremberg, a team that was also financially struggling, kept them in the league. And now you're at a bigger program in Chemnitz and actually moved up to the highest level. So how do you like kind of like define your role in a team that you usually get?
Yeah, I try to win. So it's whatever the team really needs to win. Like when I was younger, I could score and do more. And so that was what it called for. Like, and then after I got to Ehingen, and it was like Ralph had told me, like, yeah, it's about, we have a really young program, really good young players. And so my job was really just to do what I do and help the kids and play my part. And so that's kind of when I started to become like more of a player where, I mean, I've always been a player who passes well and does everything around the court, but like that was a season where I really started to like, it wasn't about 20-point scoring. It was more about getting everybody involved. And I could still score. Like there was games I still had 20 points or something like that, but it was just like, it just became not my main mindset. It was like whatever it takes to win. So today it's passing, today it's shooting, today it's rebound. And so that's like, it's the thing that I've always taken in as a mindset playing basketball.
Yeah, so you're also holding like the club record for Chemnitz for assists and steals.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw an article that said it. So like I think you're really one of the players that gets overlooked sometimes just because you aren't like the kind of Americans that are being recruited to score.
Yeah.
But you're a good guard and player to keep the team together and kind of like bring the energy on things that some people maybe don't focus too much on. Like I said, like on assists and steals. Like everyone's looking to get to the bucket, get the big scoring average going. But like I said, you hold the club record for assists and steals. So it really means a lot to your mentality that you play on such a high level in these categories that some others may not put too much emphasis on.
Yeah, I think it also really changes once you have more Americans. It's like in the Pro A and BBL where there's more Americans. Like not everyone's going to have a chance to score a bunch of points. Whereas like when you play on a smaller level, lower level, Americans are needed to score more. And so I think it changes like with the mentality of the team too.
Yeah. Well, one question that also came up in my mind while researching is that the entire time you played in Germany, you played in no other country in Europe.
Yeah.
Like what kept you here, man? What kept you here?
It
cannot only be the beer, right?
No. I think partially it's because of after my first year, I had like a little problem with the coach, and I also ended up getting an injury that summer. And so I didn't play the next season. And so like my only contacts of being overseas was really with Germany. And so then by going to the lower level of Regio, it really like limits your options to like move out and move around. And so, and I got like a lot less athletic after the injury. So like, I think it was hard for other teams to see, like, especially out of the country. Like if you never played against me or saw me play at a young age when I was still like somewhat athletic or whatever, you couldn't see it. And so it didn't look so good on film. And so other countries wouldn't look at you and say, hey, we want that guy here because he's like, he has all the skills, you know? It's more of a thing of you really have to be looking for a player that you have to really dig deep into like the stats and the skill set. And I think playing Regio, there's not really official stats for one. And then it's just not a very, it's just not very like looked highly upon, regardless of like whatever my resume may be, like with the stats or winning or whatnot.
Yeah. Is there any wish inside you that to maybe play another country before you hang up the shoes?
I mean, I would love to play in a country with weather where I could golf the whole year. That would be nice.
Do you play golf?
Yeah, I love golf. It's my new hobby.
Oh, your new hobby? Well, yeah, it's like one of the things with the lockdowns that is still kind of allowed because there aren't too many people on the court at once.
Yeah, I'm not good at it, but I do love playing it.
Yeah, when I was in Heidelberg, when one preseason we went on a driving range, I hit the ball at like every 5 times. Like I would swing and miss so much.
Yeah, it's harder than it looks, and I think that's like what gets me drawn to it. Is like I want to like be better, so it's like something to be competitive about that I can actually compete in since I'm old and my body's failing me now.
Yeah, so you watch a lot of Tiger Woods
when he's playing, yeah.
Like talking about role models, what would you define as like your role model, both like on and off the court?
I mean, my parents were good role models for me. My mom was like, she just worked so hard for us to like never like feel like we needed something or we wanted something. So that's always one of my role models, my mom. And my dad was my dad became my role model like as I got older. He's just like his way of being is really funny. So he's just really chill and low key. So that's a way that I think I am now as a person. But sports wise, I think my uncle was a really good basketball player. He's in the Hall of Fame of like his college and stuff back in Washington. And I was always a big fan of Magic Johnson when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So like that was like when I first got introduced, like they're running like late 80s. I was probably like 5 and 6. So like that's when I was like, I started to develop my like love of basketball.
The Showtime Lakers.
Yeah.
Whenever I see footage, I always watch it in awe. Because it was before my time, so of course I rely on footage from back in the day.
Yeah.
Besides golf, what would you say is your favorite off-season activity? Like right now, you stay in Germany. You said you're gonna go home in a week. Like, what are your plans on doing the off-season? Of course, like consider like before COVID, of course.
Yeah. I just like hanging out. I like chilling with my friends, going out to like patios and outdoor bars or something, and just hanging out. And yeah, besides that, I golf a lot. So it takes a lot of time. And so it's golf, hanging with friends, and watching the NBA playoffs is my off-season work.
Oh yeah. It's going to be nice. Like when you're back home, you get to watch the playoff games at like a proper time. Unlike over here where the games start at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's always tough. Like the game tonight comes on, it's at 3, and I don't know if I can stay up that late.
Yeah. I remember like hearing the stories from Joey and from your friend at Ehingen. Shout out to Marcus Werner. He said, yeah, he said like you guys were kind of like the last batch of people that had like proper partying conditioning, I'd say.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a lot of crazy times in Ehingen, especially the year we moved up from Pro B to Pro A. We had a really fun party that day.
Yeah, I heard stories like partying at the pub and like driving down to Ulm to go to the club, and then having to catch the last train back to Ehingen at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And if not, you're gonna have to grab a cab for like 50 euros.
Yeah, that was definitely the life. 50 euro cab or the last train or the first train. The first train is like at 5:30, which is a little too late for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's why I think it's always great to hear like the stories of people connecting beyond basketball and staying in contact, like even after they go their separate ways. I think that's something I wish I would have had more emphasis on, because I remember when I was at Heidelberg, I was way too in over my head, like thinking about my performance in the last game and forgetting to like enjoy the time and connect with people.
Yeah. I mean, I think it happens as you get older. Like for me, I was definitely like the really intense guy when I was young. And then like, as you get older, it's like, man, you're going to lose games. Things are going to happen that you don't like. So, but you got to keep playing, and you got to celebrate the life you have and the time you have. It's not going to last forever. So you have to enjoy it.
Oh yeah. How important would you say is loyalty to you? Like loyalty not only to a club, but like to people, to your teammates.
Yeah, I'm always loyal to my teammates and to the fans. Like the fans are really very like important in European basketball. Because they're really hands on. They're really, especially here in Chemnitz and even in Ehingen, like the fans are what the team is built on. And so, like I learned as my time grew that like you really should engage the fans and like have real connections. Like I have real friends in Ehingen, and I have real friends in Chemnitz from like fans and people that live in the cities that like I hope to like keep in touch with for forever. So that's nice to get things like that without having to like sacrifice like whatever your fame or whatever it is that you have by playing basketball. It's nice to feel normal.
Oh yeah. I think it's always great to have like the smaller cities with the basketball programs where the people really does feel like a family.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the small town and the towns around knows the team, comes to the games, and even on like off days, you see it's like some people recognize you in the supermarket or like in the mall, and like they're usually also very nice to you. Like they don't engage you like you're like my player, so you're gonna have to be humble and like me, so they're just gonna treat you like a regular person and have good conversations with them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little easier for me. I'm used to it because I went to a small community college before I went to Montana, and even Montana is like a small sports town, so it's like you get used to that lifestyle, like everyone knowing what you're doing, everyone knowing your business. And so I think it makes the change to playing in small towns like Ehingen or playing like here in Chemnitz, where it's not the biggest city. It makes it easier.
Yeah, how like Chemnitz, I don't know if you know, but like Chemnitz has a very difficult reputation among some German cities.
Yeah.
So how, like, you don't have to answer it if you want, but like how much are you like seeing of that kind of like difficult like friction between people in Chemnitz?
I think you hear about it more than you see it. I maybe am not always in the right places to kind of see what happens and stuff like that. But I mean, when the big riot thing kind of happened, we were around, and I mean, I think it's just a little crazy because like us as players, everyone knows us, and so like I feel like maybe we don't see that the way that a normal, regular like immigrant or someone would see it. Like we're not going through the same process. We're not at the same workplace. Like we're at a workplace with all foreigners basically, and we don't have to go to like the city buildings and things like that where we take care of that stuff right away in the preseason. So it's like we're never in these places where it's like tension. We're just home or city or party or something, but it's like it's always really friendly. It's like we see the demonstrations. There's always demonstrations going on, not so much now, but before my earlier years in Chemnitz. And yeah, I mean, it is a little scary, but like it doesn't, like I've never experienced things besides one time where it's like really been direct or something bad has actually really ever happened.
Yeah, I always think it's like difficult, especially for American players from the outside looking in, because there's probably so much going on that you don't really hear about and you don't quite get from the news.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, That's do your German teammates usually like guide you through it and give you like a little explanation of what's going on?
Not really. I mean, we haven't had so many problems, but like it's like if something big does happen, like yeah, we usually have a teammate that's like, hey, this is going on. We maybe don't want to be around here, or this is something, if you want to support this, you should come here. And I mean, as a team, we've done a couple of things where we've had to like be at places to support things that maybe we didn't know, but it's never been a problem really for me.
Yeah, it's just like you get the call from the manager. Yeah, we at this place at that time, like wear your team polo and just like stand around and smile and wave.
Yeah.
You're like,
I
okay.
mean, there are some times where we like if things like that, like I think we went to one and I was just like, what are we here for? And like I just kind of like was like, shouldn't we be like asked? Like I don't want to be like standing here for support of something that I don't support, you know? But it was nothing. It was a positive cause and it was good.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, sometimes I see it from the American team. It's just like the manager like writes in the group chat, okay, I need these people at this place, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like this is what I signed the contract for, so I just do it. I just be there, do my thing, and then get off with my day until the next practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Come back to basketball, of course. Like what would you say is the game that you are most have the most vivid memory of?
There's a lot. There's the two positive ones, which are the Munich one from this season, which was a crazy game where we beat Munich at home. And last year's, the last game, it ended up being the last game of the season, which was the Kirchheim game where we won in double overtime, which was a crazy, crazy game. And the other two that really stand out are the two losses, the Game 5 loss to Gotha and the Game 5 loss to Hamburg.
Yeah, this is always those like close games and decisive games that you remember.
Yeah.
Both win and loss. Definitely. Like one game I remember vividly from you guys this season was the Hamburg game that you won by a buzzer beater from Marcus Thornton.
Yeah.
Where Hamburg was like up by 17, I think. And you guys came back and won with a buzzer beater. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always
we actually beat Hamburg twice, so I think we kind of had their number.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I always liked watching your games because you have guys on the team that I used to play with, like Malte Ziegenhagen, like Niklas Wimberg. I played with and against him during my NBBL years. So
yeah.
Also got Philip Stanic that I used to play together with Berlin. So it's always nice to see the familiar faces and like see them playing together. Also like on a team that just moved up. And of course, like when you during your first season, you are the underdogs basically everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And of course, like, people are rooting for the underdogs usually.
Yeah, and I think we were an exciting team. Like we would lose big and we would play the best teams close. And it was just, I feel like the games were always like being in them and sometimes on the sideline, it's always like, you never know what to expect, but it's like going to be exciting pretty much like every game for us.
Yeah. How much are you missing the fans at the games?
A lot, man. I think, I mean, just the way the season went this year and the way we played and some of the games we had at home, it would have been so crazy just to see their reactions. And like, I know it would have been out of control. Like so crazy.
Oh, yeah, especially that buzzer beater.
Yeah.
The gym would have gone crazy, definitely. Yeah. I really gotta say I really like Chemnitz is a good program. Like your, I think, sports director Konstantin Lvovsky.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He was actually my coach at the NBBL when we won the German championship.
Okay.
So I know you have really a competent staff, really good and smart people, like on the controls. Of course, Coach Pastore. He's a legend in German basketball. So it's going to be really exciting to see how how big Chemnitz can make it in the BBL, and
Yeah.
how far you can maybe like heighten up your assists and steals record for Chemnitz during those couple of years.
Yeah, we will see. We'll see if I still play basketball after this.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how long are you thinking you can maybe still like hang on that level and play ball over here?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll still play after this season. I mean, I think I'm okay to play. It's just hard to like the daily grind of everything and like want to be at the level you want to be at in the BBL. It's hard to like not practice all the time, but then on the same time, practicing all the time kind of like makes my body not ready to play. So we'll see how it works out and if I continue to play or not.
Yeah. Any plans for after your career?
Not really. Like, I don't know whether to get into coaching or something of that nature, or to go home and figure out something better to do, something more like socially active or something of that sort.
Yeah, kind of like maybe going to community work, like coach like a high school team.
Yeah, something of that nature, or maybe even like a consulting kind of thing. Like that's with a lot of kids like playing sports and stuff, I see like misguided information and missteps by people that are made from hearing from agents or from coaches or from parents. And I think like from my experience, I can kind of help some of those guys out with just like my knowledge and information of basketball and of like the way things work.
Yeah. Maybe you could become a good agent for people going overseas.
I don't think I want to be an agent. That's not the route I want to go.
This is just suggestion. You know? You got some contacts over here, you know.
Yeah, a few.
All right. Last question for maybe like young players watching or listening to this. What advice would you give to them?
Like I would say basketball now is it's a niche sport. So like I think you really gotta find your skill set and really hone in on that main skill set. And then as every summer goes and you keep working, expand that skill set. And I think, especially for like basketball players in Germany, young players, it's really the individual isolation basketball stuff is the stuff that they miss out on. Like the skill work and the team play is something they learn their entire time. So I think a lot of time in the off, your own free time as a German, it should be working on freelance.
Yeah, I always tell my kids that they're gonna have to imagine like them having like a toolbox of a move set. Yeah. Like whatever moves I show them are basically suggestions. They try them out, see if they feel comfortable with them, if they're going to put them in the toolbox or not.
Yeah, lots of one-on-one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an attitude that was missing in German basketball for a while, because usually it was like the coach says what to do and you do exactly this and nothing else.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Yeah, independent of whether or not you feel comfortable with it. And I think it's gradually transitioning towards more individualized things, like people like coaches realizing that every player is different. Every player feels differently comfortable with a certain move, and instead of standardizing the move set, they should give them more freedom to find out what they feel comfortable with and what works for them, instead of what the coach thinks works for them.
For sure. I think it's a big thing. I know it's hard here in Germany because of the gym situations a lot of places, but
yep.
Summer should be spent basically like half of the time working on what's going to get you on the court, and then half the time worked on expanding your game.
Yeah, that's a good quote right there. That's very good. All right, Virgil, it's been fun talking to you. If you have anything more to plug, do it right here. Social media, any like little projects of yours, go ahead and put them out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything. I have Facebook. I don't even have social media. I'm too old for social media, I guess. Thanks for having me on. I always enjoy just talking and trying to get messages out there to people who want to listen.
It's never too late for something. Maybe like start like a own like you said, counseling brand, go and put on social media, or reach some young players that you can help out developing, going to college or going overseas. So who knows what may be in store for you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Virgil, thanks for coming on the show.
All right, thanks.
Stay fit, stay healthy. Wish you a good summer. And hope to see you again on the floor for Chemnitz. If not, hope to see you down the road sometime, like maybe over here in Berlin, if traveling allows it. So yeah, take care.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye, brother.
Bye.